So I've got a very faint line where my snow line is going to be, and I've mixed up quite a bit of paint for the dark colour, and I'm going to wet the sky down to that pencil mark, and then make sure it's well wet but no puddles. There we are. That's what got a nice sheen on it. I haven't got any puddles, but I have got it buckling a bit, but never mind. So with that same brush, I'm going to use a mixture of cad yellow and raw sienna. I'm using the cad yellow to lighten the raw sienna a bit so that it gives it a sunshine glow. And I'm going to put it along the bottom there, just a little way along, and I'm going to sweep it up. Just sweep it up to the top. I'm going to cover a lot of this up, but it works well there. And that's it for that brush. That should be all sort of blending and diffusing out now. And we're going to put in the darker colour. So I've got this big brush here. And I'm drawing an arc like a tulip, I guess, on both sides. Doesn't need to be exact, you can just feather it in. And that is the first bit. Now I'm getting a bit more of the dark and put it down the bottom and just flick it up. I've just poured a bit in there. Then you could, if you wanted to, you could lift your paper up so that it runs to one side or the other, tipped it sideways so that it's just blending in. And then you could tip it the other way very quickly. So you've got it diffusing, bit of tilting. That's the first bit done. Now I'm going to use a little bit of salt. So if you haven't got any, you can go and get some. I'm just going to put some along that bottom line there, because that can be undergrowth with some snow on it. Only just a little bit along that bottom line. Right, so I'm going to use this nib of this dip pen to draw some sticks in at the background, so they're just wobbly lines. just do a few each side. Can you see those? I hope you can. They're coming from the top of where I put the salt, which is now showing up quite well. They can go over into the yellow, that's fine. And just to give the idea of branches, and into the yellow you do it so that they look as if they're receding, so you get them taller, higher off that snow line. And because they're in the sun, they're a bleached out color anyway, so you can't really see them on here. But I've drawn some in the yellow, and they just look as if they're that bleached out color. That's drying quite nicely. But I think perhaps we'll just put a hairdryer over it. And my next job, or the next job, is to do a few trees. I've started this trunk over here just to see whether it was dry enough. And it is. So I'm going to do a big tree here. So making sure that the bottom is sturdy enough. And holding the paintbrush at the middle, not close to the brushes. Pull a line up for the tree trunk. I'm just thickening it slightly down the bottom there, just so that it looks as if it could stand on its own. Do one from the bottom. Thicken that bit there so that it can join in. One from a bit further up, over to the left. Thicken that there. And then another one to the left. They don't have to be too detailed, just enough to give you an idea. So I like to take my trees right up to the top and out when doing it like this. It gives you the idea that something else is happening. That's it, that's one. I think I'm going to do at least one over this side. I'm starting it from the just above where the snow is on there, and then I'm feathering it so that it doesn't look like it's a straight bottom. So you feather it slightly, and it looks as if it's growing out of that undergrowth. Just thickening the bottom of it. We want a sturdy tree here. Not too thick though. And then some branches. I'm not going to do a branch to the left of this in this dark color because I want it's going to be where the light's coming through, so the sun is going to bleach that slightly. So I'm going to do that in a lighter color. So pull in some of my colour that I've mixed up and just putting a little bit of water with it. Just making it a little bit lighter, just to show you that the sun's influencing it. This one is. Then I'm going to put a slightly smaller one in this side, but a bit further back. Pull it up. And again, leaving that bottom bit of it ragged with a drier brush or a clean brush, pull it a bit down to make it ragged. And that's all the trees that I'm going to do. Whilst I'm up here, I'm going to put a bird in. I'll put two birds in, and I've got a blob there from a leaf. Three birds. If you think you want to put a few more little twiggy things on, do. You're going to put them going into the light bit, make them a lighter shade of the mauve. And remember, branches don't come out at the same place each side. They may do, but they don't look right if they're painted that way. And you can fiddle at trees to your heart's content. And the only thing that will happen is you'll mess them up. So I'm just going to put a lighter one. So using that light bit of the paint, a lighter one over the light there. So we've got the trees in and the birds in already. The next thing to do are the fence posts, but I'll wait for you to catch up. Going to put some French fence posts in. So they're going to be quite big, really, because we're not looking at this wood from too far away. And to start off with, I'm just doing just a few posts, and then we'll make them 3D and etc. So I'm painting over that beautifully created snow that I made. Put them at odd angles because it's a long forgotten fence. Been pushed over by the kangaroos. who've been encouraged by the elephants. I'm doing mine different heights, different angles. I'm going to put that one that's fell right down there. And we've got to look where the light is coming from. It's coming from the middle. So this post here is going to have the dark side on the right, as is this one. So I'm using straight Payne's grey just to do a shadow line down the right side of this group. Then it's coming from the other side on this side because it's coming down the middle. So you have a shadow line down the left side for that one. And back to the colour that you started off with. And we've got to join these fences up. So that one's got 2 bars, that's fairly. And that one has got a bar that's fell down. It's had a nasty that bit. Those 2 join up there. And there. That's just got the bottom bit and a broken bit. And that's got top and bottom. And then you can just draw it out of the. I'll put in an extra one there. And an extra one this side. And draw it to go out of the page. Well, that one's got nothing. Let's do a bottom bar. Now, with a lighter, that colour, we're going to put the shadows in. So this one here, the shadow will be straight because that light's coming straight behind it. So I need it lighter than that. Join it up to the bottom of the fence post. This one will be just slightly bent to the right, only slightly. This one will be a little bit more bent to the right. This one will be more. That one will be really bent, and so will that. You've got, so recreate what you've got on the fence in the shadows. That's the top one. There's two there. And that's the top one. And whilst we're still doing this side, see where the tree is? And with the light paint, just pull that tree out. So the sun is catching that tree and is throwing that shadow there. And we do the other side. This one is straight. This one is just slightly off straight. And we've got two crossbars. This one is just a little bit more than the previous one. That's a little bit more. We've got top crossbar there, a top, and the bottom one there. This one is quite a bit over to the left. That one is more. We've got a bottom one. That bottom shadow is a little bit. And then we've got a top one and bottom on this one. And a top one on that one. I want that top of that tree just to really fade out of view. That shadow there, just and we also need to do a little bit of shadow for this tree. It'll be coming over this way. Mine is quite far over, so it's coming over this way. And blotting some of the colour out so it's not quite so defined. I'm going to get a clean brush, make sure it is clean, some water on it, and just scrub it through. It might be that it doesn't make any difference now because it's too wet, too dry, but if you just scrub it through and then dab it up, it just makes the shadows not quite so defined. Oops. So what we do now? That light is going to have an effect on the snow. So a very weak mixture of what you used in the sky. So that's a weak mixture of raw sienna and cadmium yellow. And just pull that forward. Then scrub it backwards and forwards with it so that it's not that defined, but it's just a bit of light. That is light coming through. And also we need to put in a pathway. So with my rigger, I'm just putting in a bit of a pathway, wiggling it backwards and forwards. It goes past the wood, getting smaller and smaller and lighter into the. And if you do a cup, looks like people have walked that path in the snow. Gets wider towards the, and it also goes off at a bit of an angle. I'm taking that out a bit because I don't want too much in there. And using the same colour, just flicking some grasses along the pathway. Just flick them in. And we need some around the bottom of the fence as well. Just some grasses, just little flicks. Use a bigger brush now. And I really didn't want that at all. That was a mistake, so we'll try and get that out. So I've scrubbed it with clean water and now I'm dabbing it. softening off those edges there. So that's the main bit of the painting done. And now I'm going to get hold of the white and the rigger. And I'm going to put in some snow. The first thing I'm going to do is just put some white on my fence posts. At the top. Right, snow-capped fence posts. Then I decide which way the snow has blown. Mine's blown from right to left, so it's going to be up against the left fence post where it's drifted and still sits. So I do a sort of a triangle. You can put it across all of the horizontal bars if you wish, with a little bit extra to up against the left side of the post. A bit there, a bit there. Next bit with the white and very gentle strokes is to put in where the snow has blown. I said it's coming from the right to the left, so this side of the tree is going to be bits of snow sticking to it, so I'm just doing broken lines, and in that V a bit more of the snow in that V of that tree there, because that's where it's stuck. So just a few broken lines where on your branches, just to show where it's stuck. In that V there. So making sure you don't put your hand in what you've already done. Just doing that, some lines on it. So the snow's in that V there. It's in that one there. A little bit there. A little bit there. A little bit there. It's got some there. Oh, that needs some in there. Some in there. Then I'm just doing some white grasses at the bottom of a couple of trees. And a couple of white trees in the background, just some white tree shapes. And the same with that one. They show up particularly well on the dark, obviously. So just going through, just marking the path a bit with the snow. The next job is to put some snow down the bottom here. Again, up against the fence. Which side bearing in mind which side your snow has blown. And it's that little triangle as the same as on the fence post. So and same for this side. Few white grasses. And that's it, I think. I think we're done. Just put a few grasses in here and there, particularly along this path. We've got some. Put it in the path as well. I'm just going to bring that down a bit. And I think I'm done. I think that's it. Oh, apart from just a little bit of snow along there. Bit uneven so that it covers the base of the fence posts. Now I'm just pulling it through. Yeah. Right, I will stop the recording.